Hello, everyone, and welcome to Learning to Code, the Video Games Edition. This is lesson number 12, a game that I call Jaws, inspired by a famous movie many of you may have seen. And so I'm already here at the Scratch site, so I'm going to click Create because we're going to create a brand new game today. I'm going to get rid of the tutorial because I'm doing the tutorial today. And I'm also going to get rid of the cat, so I'm going to click the trash can and say goodbye to the cat. The sprite that I'm going to use today, and I suggest that you use the same one, is the Diver. Diver 2 is the one I like. So you can choose which one of these you like. I like Diver 2. And so the game today is that Diver 2 is stuck at the bottom of the ocean and he's running out of oxygen. And you have to get him oxygen, but there's going to be sharks all over the place, so you have to watch out for the sharks. So first of all, I'm just going to shrink my diver down. He's still a little bit big for this game. I'm going to make him 50%. Perfect. And I'm going to have him start at the bottom, and he's just going to go back and forth at a very predictable pace and rate. So I'm going to move him down to the bottom. I've already kind of checked ahead of time where I want him to start. And so when the green flag is clicked, I'm just going to make this a bit bigger so you can see. I want him to go to 220 and negative 120. 220 and negative 120. It should be down in the bottom corner. So let's just test this. Ready? Green flag and perfect. And so he's just going to go back and forth, back and forth. So I'm going to go and get a glide, and he's going to glide to across the other side to negative 220 and 120. And then he's going to glide back to 220 and negative 120. And he's just going to do this forever and ever. So I'm going to go get a forever loop and put it right around there. Ready? Green flag and go. Uh-oh, it's too fast. I'm going to make it go a little bit slower. I'm going to make him glide for 5 seconds each way. Perfect. So nice and predictable. Wonderful. So if you could now go to Scratch, click the create button because you're creating a brand new game. Get rid of the tutorial, get rid of the cat, and choose one of the two divers. And then code it so your diver is at the bottom like mine, and he's just gliding back and forth at a very predictable, slow speed like mine. If you get stuck, please take a look at my code. And teachers, if you want to pause here, and when you're ready to go to the next part, I'll be here waiting. All right, welcome back. Hey, there's a little bit of a glitch here in my game. You'll notice the diver is kind of swimming backwards. That doesn't really look proper. It doesn't really make sense. So we're going to fix that. Take a look at his costumes. I'm going to click the costumes button up here. He's only got one costume and he's facing to the right. So look what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my mouse pointer over the diver picture right there. And I'm going to right click my mouse, or if you're using a touchpad, put 2 fingers on a touchpad and duplicate the diver. So now you've got two divers. However, they're both facing the same direction. Well, for this second diver, I'm going to click flip horizontal. So now you've got a second diver. This is called diver 2. He's looking to the right. This is called diver 3. He's looking to the left. So now look what I'm going to do. Before he starts swimming over in this direction to the negative, I'm going to have him switch to costume diver 3, I think it was. So I'm going to go to the looks, switch to costume diver 3, and then he's going to start swimming across looking in the right direction. Then when he gets to the other side, he's going to switch to costume diver 2, and so he should be looking back. Let's just test this to see how it goes. Ready? Green flag and all right, so he's looking in the right direction. Let's see if he switches costumes. Perfect. So he'll just do that forever and ever. Hey, we're going to do one other thing with the diver. We're just going to have him explain a little bit how the game is played. So look what I'm going to do. I'm just going to have him say something really quick. So I'm just going to move this over, and I'm going to get another green flag. When the green flag is clicked, I want him to say, "Help! I need oxygen!" So I'm going to go to the looks, and I'm going to grab say. So I'm going to put that right there. And he's going to say, "Help! I need oxygen." And I'm going to have him say that for 1 second, really fast. Okay? And then I'm going to have him say that forever. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a forever loop around it. But it's just going to be intermittent. So he's going to be hiding and showing. And it'll just be for a second. So watch how I do this. I'm going to have him wait. So I'm going to grab the wait button and put it right there. And he's just going to wait a random amount of time between maybe 5 and 10 seconds. So the wait, random is in the operators right there, the green one. and I'm going to grab random. So let's say between 5 and 10 seconds. So every once in a while, he's going to say, help, I need oxygen for a second. And then the computer's going to wait a random amount of time. So green flag, let's see if that works. Okay. Perfect. So he's not talking all the time. Every once in a while, he's going to yell, help, I need oxygen, just like that. Okay. A random amount of time. I also got to get a good backdrop because this plain white backdrop is not good. So I'm going to get an underwater backdrop because it's a shark-infested game. So the underwater one I want, and you can choose. I think there's a couple of good ones that really work. For me, it's this one, underwater one. Perfect. So now it's your turn. I'm just going to shrink that so you can see it, and I'll move this under here. Now it's your turn. Switch it so that he has 2 different costumes. Remember, go to the costumes button. Click on it, duplicate the diver, and flip it horizontally. So then you have 2 costumes, 2 and 3. And then you can have him switch to the proper costumes as he's gliding along. Choose a nice backdrop. And have him say something like, help, I need oxygen. And have it appear randomly so it's not too predictable. Okay, so if you get stuck, please take a look at my code. Teachers, if you'd like to pause it here, and when the students are ready for the next part, I'll be here waiting. All right, welcome back. I hope that went smoothly. Hey, now we're going to start working on the sharks. So I'm going to go down to the sprites and choose a shark sprite. There's 2 shark sprites there. I like the more realistic one better for my game. So I'm going to click on shark right there, this one there. So double click that. Perfect. Hey, he's way too big. I'm going to make him a lot smaller. I'm going to make him about 30%. Perfect. Now, if you look at the costumes once again, he's got 2 costumes, this one and this one. I don't really like this one. So I'm going to delete this one. So goodbye to this costume. And we're going to have the same problem we had as with the diver. They're going to be looking, he needs to be looking in both directions. So I'm going to put 2 fingers on a touchpad or right click the shark and duplicate it and flip this one horizontally. So now I've got 2 sharks. This is shark A. This is shark A2. Perfect. So now I'm going to go and code the shark. So I'm on a shark here. So when a green flag is clicked, I want the shark to go like in the middle of the screen, but on the edge. So I'm going to have him go to 220, kind of like the diver, and 20. That's about the middle of the screen. Let's just double check that. Ready? Green flag. Yep, see, that's kind of the middle of the screen. Perfect. Now I want him gliding back and forth, just like the diver did. So I'm going to go to the glide, and he's going to glide all the way across to -220. -220 and 20. Perfect. And then he's going to glide all the way back to where he started from. So glide back to 220 and 120. And he's going to do this forever throughout the game. So I'm going to put a forever around that. Now, the diver is very predictable, but we don't want the sharks to be predictable. We want the game to be a little bit challenging, right? Otherwise, it's too easy. So I'm going to go and get another random button there, and I'm going to make this, instead of gliding for 1 second, I'm going to make him glide for 1 to 5 seconds. So sometimes really fast, sometimes really slow. And then I'm going to have him glide all the way back, sometimes really fast, sometimes really slow, and sometimes in the middle. Okay, let's just double check that. Green flag and, okay, so see, he's going a little bit faster. Now fast, wow. Okay, very unpredictable. However, we have one problem. He's always facing in the one direction. So look what I'm going to do. When he's going to the left, which is this one here, he's going towards the -220. I'm going to make sure he's wearing costume A2, okay, because he's looking to the left. So I'm going to go to the looks, switch to costume A2, then glide to the left to the -220. Now I'm going to have him switch to costume A1 or A. There we go. As he comes back the other way. So let's just test this shark. Ready? Green flag and go. Okay, he's looking in the right direction. He should turn. Perfect. And I like how he goes at a random speed. You never know if he's going to go fast, slow, or in between. But he is always looking in the right direction. Wonderful. So, everybody, if you could now go and get a shark, a sprite, and code it so that he glides back and forth in the middle of the screen. You can even use my numbers if you want, 220 and 20. And they're going to have to duplicate his costume so he looks in the right direction. And then make him glide randomly so it's not too predictable. So students, if you get stuck, please take a look at my code. Teachers, if you'd like to pause it here, and when the students are all caught up, I'll be ready for you for the next part. All right, welcome back. So our game's going pretty well so far. However, it's going to be too easy with only one shark. So we're going to have a couple more sharks. We're going to have 3 sharks going back and forth, and you have to get past them to get your diver some oxygen. So now that this code is just perfect for this shark, look what I'm going to do. Instead of recoding the whole thing all over again, I'm going to put my mouse pointer on a shark. Don't hit the garbage can, you'll lose your work. If you ever did hit the garbage can, you could always go up to File and click Restore Sprite, okay? But now I'm going to go to the shark. I'm going to right-click the shark and duplicate the shark. So now I've got a second shark. And this is the code for the second shark. I'm going to make this one start a little bit higher. So this will be up closer to the top. It's going to be at 80. Perfect. And it's going to glide across at the 80 mark and glide across at the 80 mark. But instead of both of them starting on this side, I'm going to have them start at minus 220. So on the other side of the screen. So there we go. And I'm going to just flip these 2 pieces of code. And it's going to do that so that it goes to the right costume. So let's just double check to make sure that this one is on top. He should be starting over here somewhere. Ready? Green flag and go. Perfect. So look at that. There's the first one. There's the second one. Hey, we're going to add one more shark to this game, and we're going to make it down closer to the bottom. So I'm going to stop. And I'm going to go down to this shark, the second one. And I'm going to duplicate him again. So right-click on the shark and press duplicate. So now I've got a third shark. Here I am in a third shark. And I'm going to make him start way closer to the bottom. So I'm going to make this guy start at negative 40. Right there, negative 40. Negative 40. Perfect. And negative 40. Wonderful. So let's see how this looks. Ready? Green flag and go. All right, so look at that. I got 3 sharks going randomly at different levels in the ocean, and you're going to have to get through there shortly. So far so good. Hey, this is what I did once again. Once I coded the first shark properly with this, then I just duplicated it. So I went down here, I right-click and pressed duplicate. And then I just changed some of the numbers. So this first shark was at 220 and 20, so the middle of the screen. The second shark was up a little bit higher. It's at the 80. And the third shark's a little bit lower. It's at minus 40. So this one's at 80. This one was at 20. This one was at minus 40. And these 2 sharks started way over here at the negative 220. This one started at regular 220. So, students, I'm going to leave that there. If you'd like to take a look at my code, if you get stuck, please go ahead and do so. Teachers, if you'd like to pause here while the kids make up 2 more sharks, and when you're ready to go, I'll be here waiting. All right, I hope that's working well for you. Hey, now we got to get the diver some oxygen. So I'm going to go get another sprite. And so the sprite I like is called Kieran. He's got like a helmet. He looks like he's sort of a diver. And I like his costumes. E-F-G-H-I-J-K, Kieran. Where did he go here? Right there, Kieran, right there. So I'm going to double click Kieran. And you'll see that he's got this helmet, so I like that. Although he's smiling, I wouldn't be smiling if I'm going down into the depths with 3 sharks roaming around. So there's some other costumes, and there's this one. He's kind of surprised. That's the one I like, Kieran B. So I'm going to delete the other ones. Goodbye to that one. I'm going to keep Kieran B. Goodbye to that. Goodbye to that, that, and that, just so I don't get confused. So it's only this one costume, Kieran B. So I'm going to make Kieran a little bit smaller. Right now is awfully big. I'm going to make Kieran all the way down to 20%, nice and small. Perfect, like that. I'm also going to have Kieran start right kind of at the top like this, and he's going to be drifting down to the diver. So I'm going to press green flag, and I'm going to have him go to 0 and 150. That's kind of at the top. So green flag, go to 0 and 150. So kind of close to the top. Perfect. Let's just double check that. Wonderful. Okay, so he's up there. And his job is going to be go down to get some oxygen. But, a game has to be challenging. So look how I'm going to do this. Look what I'm going to do. He's going to forever be drifting downwards. So watch, I'm going to get the forever button like that. And let me just make this code a bit bigger so you can see. So here he is at 0 and 150. And then forever, change his y by -1. And that means he's going to slowly drift down. So now I'm going to go to the motion, and I'm going to get change y, because that's up and down. Change y by -1. So ready, green flag, watch. He should start at the top and slowly start drifting downwards. Perfect. Okay, so far so good. But we're going to change it a little bit later so that if the shark eats him, he goes to the top. And I'm going to make it so that you can control him a little bit. But anyways, right now he starts at the top and he changes his y by -1 forever. So he's always coming down slowly. We're also going to have points in this game. So I'm going to go to variables right there. I'm going to click on make a variable. So we're going to make points. And for me, the points are going to be called lives. Perfect. So I'm going to press OK. Wonderful. I'm going to get another green flag and put it there. So green flag, and I'm going to set the points. So back to variables. I'm going to set the lives to 0. So make sure yours says lives or whatever you decided to call it. So lives to 0. So students, now you're going to go get another sprite. I got the diver sprite. His name is Kieran. I had him start at the top at 0 and 150, so that's in a dead center at the top. And slowly he's drifting downwards. You'll see why I'm doing this shortly, but I'd like you to do the same thing. So have him forever change his y coordinates by -1, so he's slowly coming down. And then go get some points, create a set of points. I called mine lives, and I set the lives to 0. So students, I'm going to leave the code there. If you get stuck, please take a look at it. Teachers, if you'd like to pause it here, and when the students are all caught up, I'll be ready for you for the next part. All right, next up. Well, if the diver, Kieran, touches one of the sharks, you lose points. If you can make it all the way down and touch the diver, you get a point. So let's do that now. So green flag, we set our lives to 0, and I'm just going to move my lives to the bottom. I don't like it at the top, and you'll see why again. I'm going to move that down to the bottom today. So now we're going to code the points. So I'm going to get another green flag. So green flag is clicked. Perfect. When the green flag is clicked, forever check to see if you're touching the diver. Let's do that one first. So forever checking to see if touching. So if, we need an if statement right there. If. Perfect. Touching the diver. So touching is a sense. I'm going to go to the senses right there. Touching, and I know it says mouse point. I'm going to change that in a minute. I'm just going to drag that over and let it go once it turns white. Perfect, right there. So when the green flag is clicked, the computer is going to forever check to see if touching diver 2, I think it's called. Yep, diver 2. If it is touching diver 2, then let's change the points by 1, change lives by 1, and have Kieran go all the way back to the beginning. So back up to, go to 0 and 150 at the top. So, perfect. So if Kieran can make it all the way down and touch the diver, he gets a point. Wonderful. Now let's code it so that if he's touching the sharks, they lose a point. So I'm just going to move this over again, get another green flag. Events button, perfect, green flag. So if touching the shark, so forever, perfect. If touching shark or shark 2 or shark 3, let's start with shark. If touching, so if, right in there, and touching it in the senses, shark. Let's do shark first. If touching shark, perfect. So if touching shark, change points by -1 or lives by -1 because you're going to lose a point, and go back to the beginning. So go to 0 and 150. Perfect. So there's shark 1, or the first shark. Now look what I'm going to do. I'm going to duplicate this so I don't have to recode the whole thing again. So I'm going to put my mouse pointer right there, and I'm going to right click and duplicate just as part of the code. See that? And I'm going to put it in the forever loop. So forever checking to see if touching shark, forever touching to see if touching shark 2. And if it is touching shark 2, change lives by -1 and go to the top. Now I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to duplicate this code. So I'm going to put it right there, right click and duplicate. Perfect. And I'm going to put it inside the forever loop again. If touching shark 3, change lives by -1 and go all the way to the top. So I've got points now, and if he's touching the diver, they get a point. They get 1 point, and he goes to the beginning and tries again. If they're touching the shark, they lose -1 point, and they go back to the beginning. So that works for a shark, shark 2, and shark 3. Let's just test this out. Green flag and go. Okay, if he touches the shark, you should go to the top. Perfect, perfect. I know it's not perfect yet because you can't control him. We're going to fix that in a minute. All right, it seems to be working. Well, let's just see if he can get by here. Does anything happen? Come on, shark, hit him. Perfect, and he's losing all these points. Wonderful. So that's working now. So students, now it's up to you to set the lives so that if he touches the diver, he gets a point and he goes back to the top. If he touches any of the sharks, they lose a point and he goes all the way back to the top. So if you get stuck, please look at my code. And teachers, if you'd like to pause it here, and when the students are all caught up, I'll be ready for them for the next part. All right, this is the fun part. So now what we're going to do is create a couple of buttons that you have to click to make them go up or down and to avoid the sharks and try to get down to the diver. So I think you're going to like this. So I'm going to go down to the sprites and choose a button. Of course, you can choose whichever button you like. For me, I like this button right here. I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to leave it gray, actually. Because look what I'm going to do. So there's the button. I'm going to go to the costumes of this gray button. And I'm going to leave the blue one. I'm going to go get text. And I'm going to get a bright color, maybe a bright red like that. And I'm going to write on this button. Watch what I'm going to write. So T, I'm going to write the word up. Okay, like that. And now I'm just going to make this a bit bigger so it fits right perfectly in the box like that. Nice in the center. Perfect. So that one's the up button. Perfect. So I'm going to grab the up button and move it up in the top corner. Wonderful. Now I'm going to go make another button. So I'm going to click down to the sprites and click again. Choose button. So another gray button like that. Perfect. So now I'm on this button. And I'm going to go to the costumes. I've still got red. I've got the T for text. And I'm going to write on here, down. This is the down button. So I'm just going to make the word or text a bit bigger so it fits right in there perfectly. Wonderful, just like that. Nice. So there's the down button. I'm going to put it in the top corner over here. Wonderful. So now look what I'm going to do. This is the tricky part. I'm going to code it so that when you, the player, clicks the up button, Kieran moves up. We've never really done this before, and it's a special feature called broadcasting. So when I click this button, the computer's going to yell, up! He's going to broadcast the message up. And when Kieran hears the message up, he's going to go up a little bit. So watch how I code it. So I'm on the up button right now. We haven't coded anything there yet. So I'm going to go to the events. So when this button is clicked, when this sprite is clicked, there we go. I'm going to make this a bit bigger. So look, we're on the up button right now. And we're coding it so that when someone clicks the up button sprite, the computer's going to yell up. So I'm going to go get this broadcast, which is kind of like yelling. Broadcast, and I'm going to create the message. I'm going to call it up, just so we don't get confused. There we go. Wonderful. So now look what we've done. When you click this sprite, the computer's going to yell up. But of course, it's a computer. He's going to do it silently, so you won't actually hear it. But he will be broadcasting this message up. So every time I click that, the computer yells up, and Kieran's going to hear that. So now I'm going to go to button number 2, the down button, and I'm going to code it the same way. When this sprite is clicked, when the down sprite is clicked, when this sprite is clicked, he's going to broadcast down. So I'm going to click in there, new message, and I'm going to call it down. Okay, perfect. Again, you won't hear it, but the computer will be yelling down. Okay, so that's all the code we need for the buttons. Pretty easy. Now I'm going to go to Kieran. Get some space over here somewhere. Okay, when he receives that message down and up, he's going to do things. So look, see, now we're on Kieran. When he hears the word, let's go with up first of all. When he hears up, he's going to change his y coordinates. So watch, change y by 5. So motion, because this is up, right? Change y by, not 10, but 5. And he's going to repeat that a few times. Repeat that maybe 5 times. So now look what happens, everybody. When you click this up button, the computer's going to broadcast up. When Kieran receives up, he's going to repeat 5 times and change Y by 5. Watch. Green flag, up. See that? Look, he's moving up. He hears the computer broadcasting up, and when he receives up, he's going to repeat 5 times and change Y by 5. I'm going to go do the same thing with the down button. So again, I'm still on Kieran, and when I receive down, repeat 5 times, 5 times, change Y by -5. So he goes down. Change Y by -5. Nope, not 55. There we go. So when Kieran hears up, he's going to go up 5 times. When he hears down, he's going to go down 5 times. Let's just test this out. Green flag. Okay, see? I can avoid the sharks. He's going up every time I click this one. And now I want him to go down. Oh no, I got hit by a shark. Ouch. Uh-oh. Anyways, there we go. So now it's working. I'm going to go back to Kieran. See, here's the up and down. When this sprite is clicked, broadcast up. When this sprite is clicked, broadcast down. So now on Kieran, when he receives up, he's going to go up. When he receives down, he's going to go down. So students, I'm going to leave that there. I know it's a little bit tricky, this one. Teachers, you may have to go back and forth on the video between the down, up, and Kieran. But I think the students will get it. And students, please take a look at my code. Teachers, when you're ready to go on to the next part, which I think is the last part, I'll be here waiting. All right, so while you're coding, I've been practicing playing a little bit. I think I got this now. Watch, ready? So let's see if I can get down to the diver once. There we go. There we go, all the way down. And it's gonna have to, perfect. Now it's working. I'm gonna go down again. Ay, whoops. Perfect. So anyways, it's working nicely. Hey, I got one last trick for you just to enhance your game a little bit more. We're gonna add some sounds and one more effect. So watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go down to the sprite and I'm gonna click paintbrush because I'm gonna write a word. So I'm gonna click paintbrush. I'm gonna stick with red and I'm gonna click on the T and I'm gonna write down here, oxygen. There, like that. And I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger because you can see it's kind of small. Perfect. Actually, I'm going to make it a bit smaller now. Wonderful. And I'm going to grab it and I'm going to put it right here beside where Kieran starts because he's got the oxygen. Perfect. I'm going to go to the code and we haven't coded anything for oxygen. I'm just going to have a flash. I think we've done this before. So green flag, show itself. So we'll get the show button. Whoops, it's under looks. Sorry. Show. Wonderful. And wait for a little bit. So wait 0.04, 0.4. And then he's going to hide. Hide right there. And he's going to wait 0.1. 0.1. Sorry, I'm almost done. Thanks for your patience today. There we go. And I'm going to put a forever loop around that. So just the word oxygen is going to forever flash, waiting, showing for 0.4, then hiding for 0.1. Let's just test that out. Yeah, see the word oxygen is flashing? It's kind of fun to do that. Hey, last thing, most video games have music. I think you should add some music. So there's a few songs that work. Of course, you can decide which one you want. But for me, there's 2 choices. I'm going to go to the loops button. And so the ones I think for this one are either cave. I know it's a little bit creepy and underwatery, so that's a good one. Or the movie music, I think it was, movie 2. Where did that one go? Right there. That's a little bit epic, so you have to decide which one you like. I like cave for my game, so I'm going to double click cave. And remember how we did that, right? I went to sounds. I went down to the bottom corner, choose a sound, and then I went to the loops and chose a loop that I liked, and for me it was cave. So there's the song Cave, and I'm just going to put it on oxygen, so right here. So I'm going to get another green flag. Green flag is clicked. Play sound cave, so sounds. Play Sound Cave until done. And I'm going to put a forever loop around it so it's always playing. Okay, so it's going to make this smaller so you can see it. Perfect. Let's just test out the song. Ready? Green flag. I think that fits perfectly. Let's see if I can get down. There we go. Perfect. So there's our game. I'm just going to go to the oxygen so you can see how I made it flashing and I got my sound in there. Hey, I hope you liked that one, a game that I call Jaws, and I hope to see you for the next lesson. So have a good rest of your day, everyone. Thanks.